All right, now with great pleasure, joining me on set, Senator Tom Cotton from the great state of Arkansas. Oh, wait a second, we got a book. We love books. Author of Only the Strong. One click on Amazon. Is it actually out?
It is out, Larry.
Is out.
You can buy it on any bookstore today. Please go out and do so. And a lot of the issues you touched on in your riff, I touched on in the book. And I explained that it's not just insanity, although it seems like that. It's part of the progressive left's deliberate plot to sabotage the sources of American power. A strong and growing economy, a strong military, sovereign borders, sovereign freedom of action in the world, American energy production. The progressive left, going back 100 years, to very much include today's, BLM riders or the Squad or the 1619 Project types, are at best ambivalent about America, and therefore they're hostile to the sources of American power.
Yes, there's no America first with that crowd, ever. No America first. Let me just come back. We were part of the group at lunch today with you. You spoke very eloquently, and I think you illuminated a lot of important issues. I have a certain wise-ass sense of humor. I get that. And I compare Kamala Harris with Jay Powell. He may be the Kamala Harris of monetary policy. His performance today was very bad, and you hate to see almost a 1,000-point swing in stocks. But, the trouble here from day one has been Fed overspending. That is federal government, Biden overspending, which was monetized by the Federal Reserve. And so inflation is the #1 issue, plus their war against fossil fuels. I want to just ask you, is there an end to this in sight? If the cavalry comes, will this be ended?
Yeah, there is an end to it when we win the election next week, Larry. Inflation is too much money chasing too few goods. And the Democrats have created this inflation coming and going. First off, they spent trillions of dollars that we don't have and that our economy didn't need as it was recovering early last year from Democratic shutdowns. Larry Summers at the time said so. Second, they've also constricted supply, especially when it comes to American energy, oil and gas and coal, because energy inflation is the worst kind of inflation. It affects everything we do, not just the gas you put in your tank to get to work, but the food you buy, the clothes you buy, products for your homes,
this is
businesses that need to power.
Refined petroleum importance
Absolutely.
to ordinary folks, sitting around kitchen tables. They don't understand that. You do away with fossil fuels, you're going to do away with hundreds of things.
The glasses on your face, the pen in your hand, the shoes we wear. Petroleum products go into hundreds and hundreds of everyday products. We are the world's energy superpower, yet the Democrats have waged war on fossil fuels. Joe Biden said in 2020 he was going to eliminate fossil fuel production. They'd rather outsource our energy to China, which through its combination of unfair trade practices and mercantilist policies are the dominant producers of so-called green energy. And as I explained in Only the Strong, this is directly undermining not only our prosperity at home, but our power abroad as well.
So let's go through this again. Let us assume the cavalry is coming. We both heard Dick Morris give a very ambitious forecast today of a big GOP win, but I don't know the numbers exactly, but I think Dick is a smart guy and he's on the right track. You seem to basically be in sympathy with it as I was. So you take over the House, you take over the Senate. I'm going to say whenever you all get sworn in for the new session, early January, what happens, Senator Tom Cotton? Because you're going to have still high inflation, if not an outright recession, a sinking economy. Republicans will be blamed almost immediately if they don't get out of the chute fast. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, first off, from the election next week, markets can be sure you're not going to have more trillions of dollars spent. But second, once we take office in January, I think we should focus on American energy production because it is so vital to our economy. But also you have a lot of Democrats who will face the voters in 2024 from states who depend on fossil fuel production in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Montana. So I hope we could find at least a few Democrats who would recognize that even if they don't prefer it as a policy solution, as a political shield, they need to side with us in January.
Take the handcuffs off. John Hoeven's always said, take the handcuffs off on gas, take the handcuffs off refined petroleum products. What happens? Prices will fall and economic growth might rise. And you think you could get votes for that?
We could, and we can also use our spending power. In 2015, when I was new to the Senate, we had just won back the Senate after 6 years of Obama having a Democratic Senate. We were able to use spending bills to lift the ban on oil exports, for instance. That created many more markets around the world for America's oil and gas producers. So maybe we'll be able to use our spending power to get some favorable changes to oil and gas practices in the country as well.
I think you put your best foot forward then. I think you'd be making a clear statement. Also, you would be dealing with the ills of the economy. So you figure your colleagues saying the same thing? You're hearing this in the cloakroom? I know you're not in the cloakroom. You're here on our set.
Yeah, this is one of those issues that unites all Republicans because it's just such a common sense issue for most Americans when they're paying $4 a gallon for gas or $5 and $6 a gallon for gas out on the West Coast. They want common sense, practical solution. They're not ideologues. They're not beholden to some idea that we need to leave all fossil fuels in the ground. So this is something that unites all Republicans, and hopefully we can get a handful of Democrats to cooperate with us.
Last point. Joe Biden is out there now. This is his newest mantra. They've tried everything else but what the key points are on the economy and crime and the border. Republicans, you all are going to destroy Medicare and you're going to destroy Social Security. Now, this one, I've been around even longer than you. I mean, this argument has been around almost since the 1930s. But here they go again. Republicans are going to destroy your retirement and destroy your health care. What you make of that? How effective is this going to be?
Well, let's recall 2022 is the 50th anniversary of Joe Biden's first campaign for Senate. So he's been making this exact argument his entire adult life. And it's simply because they don't have any other arguments to make. They have no solutions to things like inflation and crime and the drug epidemic and our open border because their policies are the cause of those problems. And the American people are going to deliver a resounding verdict against the Democratic agenda on Tuesday.
And just to conclude, let's end where we began. GOP's got to make it clear, America first. Not America last. Not Joe. You remember Joe Biden's? He's having his ice cream cone. I don't begrudge him his ice cream cone. Our economy is great, but I'm not worried about us. I'm worried about what about overseas. No. How about America first? Can we make that clear?
And I write about this in Only the Strong that our founding fathers would have said, of course you have to put America first because no one else would. This has been a common sense solution for our entire history until modern times. If we don't put America first, no one else will.
And my pal Sarah Sanders, big winner for governor of Arkansas.
She's going to be a big winner and an even better governor.
And French Hill will be reelected in the House.
Easily reelected.
Senator Tom Cotton, I have to catch up with all my friends. Author of Only the Strong, Reversing the Left's Plot to Sabotage American Power. Pretty good. You know, you could make it as a Fed watcher if you decide to leave the Senate.